Man, it is a freaking beautiful day right now.
It really is.
We're hanging out at the patio at Alliance Brewing Company, and we've had just a string of good weather, and there's one of the many great craft breweries in Knoxville that has a patio. And hanging out, this is Zach, the brew bus guy of Knoxville Outdoor Tours, hanging out with Mama calls me Kevin.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, and we're drinking some beer, and we've got a couple people with us that we're really excited to hang out with and talk about. Sort of our main interviewee, if you will, is Alex Clark. Alex is the owner of a new business in Knoxville, which is great to see new businesses starting, especially during the COVID times. But thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. And this is a normal conversation I'd be having over a beer is bikes and beer and beautiful weather. I mean, it's the 3 Bs, right?
Yeah, exactly. So normally we interview beer people, and today we're interviewing a bike person. You may be listening and wondering why, but there's a lot going on between the craft beer community and the biking, and specifically the mountain biking community, that we're going to chat about just a little bit. So thanks for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it.
Can't wait.
And there's only one person that brings bikes and beer together better than anyone else that I know.
Yes, and that is our second interviewee, a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show. I had to invite him as well because I knew he liked beer. He likes both of Alex and I's passions equally. We've also got with us the owner and brewer of Crafty Bastard Brewery, Aaron McClain. Aaron, how's it going, bud?
Going well.
Thanks again for hanging out with us.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me. These two of my favorite topics. So, can't wait to hear more.
Yeah. And then for those of you watching on the YouTube channel, thanks for joining us. You will notice a fifth person who is not really in the interview, but he's hanging out with us drinking beer, and that's Phil. So a quick shout out to Phil. Thanks for hanging out with us, Phil. Yeah. Well, it is beer with, so we always got to start off with the beer. What are y'all drinking on? What'd you guys grab from the bar?
Well, this is my first post-COVID Alliance beer, and so I had to celebrate with a little Mosaic IPA.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Mosaic IPA. What are you sipping on, Aaron?
So I have the CMS. So it's their more hazy New Englandy style version. So similar hops. That's done more West Coast, and this is more hazy. So.
And Mama calls me Kevin.
I went with the mango Berliner Weiss.
Ooh,
Very
we're
nice.
all over the board.
It's nice and refreshing on a day like today.
And I went for the classic, straightforward, chuggable lager, which is my jam right now.
Can't beat it.
Well, fellas, thanks again for hanging out and giving us a little bit of your time. Cheers to you all.
Cheers.
That's right.
I missed the clinking sound of glass,
Clink.
but we'll get to that. We'll get back to that one day.
We'll edit that in post.
So there are, like I mentioned a minute ago, a lot of great breweries with patios. But the reason we specifically chose Alliance to interview you is because that sort of is the center, South Knoxville, of the majority of your business. So give us the elevator pitch. What is Knoxville Outdoor Tours? What do you do?
Yeah, so I'll try to keep it as short as possible because I get really excited when talking about the bike scene in Knoxville because of just the most organic way this has kind of happened. There's this OG group of mountain bikers that were just building trails in South Knoxville, illegal trails at that, and then all of a sudden other people found out about them, and then it turned into 75 miles of trails, all within minutes of downtown. And so what this has presented is all kinds of out-of-towners coming in, and everybody wants to ride the trails, and I want to show them the trails. I live on the trailhead. So for me, I want to host.
Yeah.
And so I love hosting these people coming into town, showing them all the rad trails because that's what I'm all about. And then after their ride, I mean, they're literally able to pedal down here to Sevier Avenue and hit up all these great places. And then some of the more edgy guys, I mean, after their ride, they'll go and hit all the breweries. Aaron, they'll go over to Crafty, and then they'll
Awesome, yeah.
They're all over Central. They're all over North Knoxville, and so Knoxville's just really prime for it. As far as it's a pretty concentrated area with a lot of good beer and people on bikes. You can get places really quick.
And I know we haven't had a chance to really hang out much, but that sort of same passion that you just shared about wanting to show people the trails is how I've felt since we started Knoxville Outdoor Tours about showing people the breweries.
Sure.
It's sort of like, there's also that challenge of feeling like you've got the secret you don't want anybody to know about, but also you love it so much you can't not share it and not talk about it. And it's really cool to see other people be as passionate about something different but in the same city.
Well, it's great to see, something like this. It's easy to think that others don't want to share it, but fortunately with the the Knoxville locals, everybody's kind of too stoked.
Yeah.
It's real easy.
Yeah.
And you want to tell
that's
everybody
a really good
about
way
it.
to word it. Too stoked to hold it in.
Yeah. So it's really fun. You get to see this online presence of, you would think Knoxville has a million people in it because everybody's talking about how much they love Knoxville. And the only way for people to learn is to come here and check it out.
Check it out, yeah. So, Aaron, you go ahead. What were you about to say?
I did have an experience similar to that. I was actually at Print Shop, another local brewery, and there was a couple down here from Brooklyn, and they were just kind of checking it out and everything. And I told them about the mountain bike trails, and I told them about Fort Dickinson Quarry and the different breweries and like little dives that I love to go to and food spots and how affordable it was to live and everything else. And they were like, wow, that sounds amazing. Da, 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 da. And they walked away, and the bartender was like, stop telling people from Brooklyn how awesome this place is. So anyway, so there's still a little bit of that, but yeah, I think most people are too stoked to hold it in. Yeah, and just kind of let it go.
So are you from Knoxville? Did you move here? What's kind of your background?
No, man. Actually, I grew up in a tiny town called Riceville, Tennessee, and I will give $10 to anybody who could even name what county that's in. And at that point, grew up in a super small town, didn't really know what was outside of it, and I came to college at UT. And that's when I actually first started riding. And so I guess I graduated, 5-6 years ago, and couldn't leave Knoxville.
Yeah.
And so I was on campus or whatever, and found out of the tiny subculture that we call South Knoxville. And kind of got in early, and fortunately I've got a house in a cool location, and kind of everything's coming around it.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see that happening really all over Knoxville. It's not just South Knoxville.
I live in North Knox, and when I moved into that neighborhood, there was not even half of what there is now, and so it's been really cool to see that grow as well.
Hey, it's great.
So, Aaron, talk a little bit about how beer and bikes sort of are a big part of your life, and how they've sort of connected and been a part of who you are.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely have to give you the abridged version. Shout out to Abridged Brewing Company. Wonderful place. I definitely have to give you the abridged version because I would take up the rest of the interview if I tried to explain all of it. But, I moved to Fourth and Gill about 7 years ago. And when I did, I got a bike because I was like, okay, this is going to be a cool way to get around and go to places and stuff like that. And just got more and more into it. And I think part of getting a bike is like why Crafty is where it is, because Emery Place, where Crafty is, and for those of you listening who've been there, you'll know what I'm talking about. I rode my bike through there forever because it's the bike route.
Yeah.
It is the flattest, least trafficy way to get to downtown or campus or anything like that. And every time I would ride my bike through there, I'd be like, man, there should be a brewery here. Like it just looked like a place, and there was that old warehousey place where we are and stuff like that. And I just got to thinking about it, and I'd been homebrewing for a long time. And one day I rode by and saw a for lease sign. And that kind of is what started the spark of that. So if I had just been driving my car through there, first of all, I wouldn't have been driving that way. And so that's a connection that I have. And as far as the brewery goes, it's amazing. I have many friends who meet there, and we go on bike rides, and they go on bike rides. We have Zach put together this grenade race, which was originally supposed to only be on foot, but since it's Crafty bikes, kind of infiltrated as well. Yeah, we can talk more about that later. But no, it's been a huge connection. I think riding a bike got me more into a local scene than I had ever been into, and I just wanted to be a part of it, and kind of ended up being a business owner. So it's been a huge impact.
So both of you've talked about it, and I know, Aaron, you've seen it, myself as well. A lot of the same people, who love craft beer and love mountain biking and love biking in general. What do you all think is the reason that people who love one tend to also be passionate about the other? What is it about them that you think is drawing them to both?
Aaron, I'll let you take the lead on that one. That's a good question. That's very
there's no wrong.
thought-provoking.
Yeah, the thing is, and there's lots of runners who also drink beer as well. I find the majority of people who cycle, be it road or be it mountain, the exercise is part of it. the transportation is part of it, the camaraderie is part of it, but you want to go on an adventure, right? Like there's a lot of people, whether it's a road cycle or whether it's a mountain cycle, you want to go do something rad. You want to do some epic stuff. Yeah, I will.
It's college radio.
Yes, college radio. You want to do some, some rad, epic stuff. And so, yeah, I think part of a thing that goes with that is having a locally crafted product in a beautiful place, and something that, yeah, maybe it has a little bit more calories than a macro beer, but damn it, you earned it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just it's a synergy. It just makes a ton of sense to have a really nice beer after a bike ride when you've earned it. I wish I could be more poetic about it than that, but that's all I got to say right now.
Perfect.
That's good to me.
I mean, that is poetic, though. You earn the beer, and that's, I think, what some of the clients I've had, that's literally their most favorite part is we'll go on a big ride, and I'll get to show them all these great things throughout the ride, and they're just thinking about the beer at the end of it. Yeah. And it's so refreshing, and not to mention how simple riding a bike and maybe drinking some beer really is.
Yeah. And the way I feel about it, too, is when you've earned it, it's like nothing against macro beers at all. But, like, when you've gone on a long, hard ride and seen some epic stuff and had awesome views and great conversation with friends, and, I like to ride and go swimming and, like, do all these, amazing things that Knoxville offers. Like, when you've had a day like that, a Bud Light won't do.
That's right.
Like,
it's not as satisfying.
Yeah.
And, Alliance Brewing Company, they have a whole slogan, active beer culture. An active beer culture, you ask any one of them and they'll tell you what it means is, part of what it means is that a beer that's earned tastes better. It's sort of like, I hate to say this analogy, but it's sort of like, we all know that a pizza in the oven, albeit you have to wait 30 minutes, is better than microwaved pizza rolls that take 60 seconds.
Yeah, every time.
And that's sort of, the Bud Light craft beer kind of analogy. But anyways, we're hanging out with Alex with Knoxville Outdoor Tours here in South Knoxville, mountain biking guide, and Aaron from Crafty Bastard. This is Zach, the brew bus guy, and Mama calls me Kevin. So my next question, whoever wants to take the lead on it can, but what is something that you would hope for the future of mountain biking in Knoxville, or the future of beer in Knoxville, or maybe how you could maybe see them, together? What let's dream together for a minute. What is...
I think my dream is the reason I started this business. I want people to associate mountain biking with beer culture, because that's what attracts me to other destinations, and so I want people to come here because they know they get the best of both worlds. And one of my favorite things ever to do is, with some of my best friends, we get on our bikes and we just go hit all the craft beers in all the breweries for a full day. And
have you done this before?
A lot. Yeah. And that's kind of what started this whole thing, and I want other people to get to experience that. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. What about you? What do you think, Aaron? What would you hope for or love to see in the future for biking in Knoxville, and maybe how that might relate to the craft beer world?
I would like to see, and I am not much of a mountain biker. I don't have anything against it. I just, need my face to do my job. Anyway, what I would like to see is, there's been a lot of money and work on infrastructure in extending greenways and bike lanes and stuff like that. Right now, there is a Knox to Blunt greenway that they're working on. It's going to be about 45 miles. A lot of it is already completed, and they're trying to connect existing greenways. But a way that you can ride from downtown Knoxville to the Great Smoky Mountains and be on a greenway almost the entire
whole time.
way.
That would be so cool.
There is a chance that they're actually going to connect downtown Knoxville to Oak Ridge. I mean, you can already get out to Cedar Bluff, and there's talks of doing that. I would love to see an artery of greenways throughout the greater Knoxville area. Even novice cyclists, hey, I'm just riding on a greenway. I don't have to get out on some busy road. I think that would get more people into cycling. That would get more people into maybe, hey, popping into a brewery along the way. So I would love to see a day where you can you can bike to a lot of these other outer reaching places and do it in a safe manner, and have some good beers along the way.
I love that. Me personally, we kind of talked a little bit about it before the interview, but I would love to start seeing some sort of craft beer adventures where we sort of create these planned activities that are focused around biking and beer. Last 3 Fridays ago, Aaron and I were very lucky to ride the loop at Cades Cove underneath the full moon. And, that was just so epic and so beautiful and so special to this area. And, we didn't think to necessarily crack open a beer at the end of that, but we probably should have.
Yeah.
Or at least
we didn't.
I was driving, you did. But, that's something I'd love to see more of, is a lot of collaboration amongst our outdoor activity, people who are passionate about mountain biking like yourself, and people who are passionate about beer, and so that's something I hope to see for the future. Mama calls me Kevin. You have any questions or anything that I maybe have left out?
I'm one of those guys that used to cycle a lot, and then I kind of shifted from cycling to beer, and it's been more difficult to shift back. But I'm trying. I'm getting there. I've been hitting the greenways a lot more ever since I'd had my bike in my shed for years, and about a year ago I got it, a lot of work done to it to get it, roadworthy again.
Yeah.
And I've really been enjoying that, and when you all talking about the full moon ride around Cades Cove, I can't wait to do one of those again. It's been several years since I did that, but that was always such a great time. I love that little adventure, and I would most definitely crack open a cold beer at the end of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again so much for hanging out with us. I really appreciate your time, Alex and Aaron, and for sitting down and having a beer with us. And thank you for your passion for mountain biking and for Knoxville, and for your passion for biking in general and for beer, Aaron, and really enjoyed hanging out with you all. What is real quick, give everybody a quick reminder of the name of your business, what you all do, and where people can best connect with you to learn more about what you're doing. Yeah,
sure. So I appreciate you bringing that up. It's kind of like this dynamic thing about which social media platform I prefer, because I feel like that's the future, right? But yeah, Knoxville Outdoor Tours. I've got an acronym I've been trying to get people to catch on to, NOT, like KNOT. Yeah, so we'll see if that gets any traction. But yeah, all the social media channels, Knoxville Outdoor Tours, and then websites, knoxoutdoortours.com. So a little curveball there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man, thanks.
And Aaron?
We're on Facebook and Instagram. We post new releases on there constantly, generally 2 to 3 new beers a week, so check that out. CraftyBastardBrewery.com. We'll have a full tap list on there that is always accurate and up to date, 99% of the time. And we have...
Little disclaimer there.
Yeah. And we have, we're also offering to-go options. So if you, that's, all we were able to do during COVID, but we have 16-ounce cans, growlers and crowlers available in most styles. We're open till 10 p.m. Every day except Sunday, which we're open till 8, and we've got our patio open.
And expanded.
Patio open and expanded. Come hang out with us, and yeah, I think that's it.
That's all. Thanks again so much for being part of our Beer With interview tonight. As always, it is such a pleasure and a joy to get to know some of the people in Knoxville that make this city so great. You guys are on that list. I hope you know that. I think Aaron's blushing right now just a little bit. No, he's used to it.
Might be sunburned.
Actually. I don't know how many of you have been on this patio before. There's a certain seat that is really bad, and I have been in that one.
You are in it.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, appreciate it again. Thanks so much. Wish you the best of luck and everything. And let's go ride some bikes and drink some beer.
Sounds great.
All right.
Mess that up.
Cheers.
Cheers.